Here's my card. Let me know when you want to discuss his future.
If there's something to discuss.
What's up, YouTube? It's your boy Mark Dark, and I'm back with another video. If you're new, if you love Bel-Air, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Like the video and leave your theories, comments, everything down below. Now today we won't be talking about Bel-Air Season 2, Episode 2. This is the recap. Now I'm going to try my best to focus on all the key points in this episode. If I miss anything, you guys let me know down below. And what another great episode. I was really feeling this one. Carlton and Will, they had a lot of fun at the club, kicking it with Jackie. And of course, Carlton, he was out there getting it on with two chicks. He was having a good old time. And we know that anxiety is just a matter of time before it really comes back and takes over. We saw little bits and pieces of it in this episode. They're building it up, and it's just a matter of time before we see something happen with your boy Carlton. And Will, man, he took over in that second game. He was not playing around. He took Doc Hightower's advice. He said, screw my coach. I'm going to keep the ball in my hand. I'm going to do what I want to do. I got a funny feeling that this whole storyline is not going to play out the way he wants it. And we know it's going to be some issues with Will, his team, and of course, Uncle Phil and Doc Hightower. You guys let me know what you think about that. Now let's go over the description of the episode. The title of the episode is called Speaking Truth. The description of the episode reads, Will alienates himself from the Bel-Air basketball team and finds appealing opportunities in love and basketball with the help of some new South LA friends. So those are the key elements of this episode. As I told y'all, man, I really enjoyed it. It was a lot of fun. Of course, we know it was some drama, and we know it's going to build up for more things to come down the line. But let's begin. What did we see in episode 2 titled Speaking Truth? And Will begins the episode off, going back and forth with his coach. The game is on the line. He wants to impress Doc Hightower, and he feels like he is the one that needs to make this last shot. We see Uncle Phil and Viv in the stands watching the game. And of course, we see Jeffrey, and we know she wants him to still fix this issue that he has with Jeffrey. Now, Will, he actually decides to listen to the coach, because at first I thought he was going to take the final shot, but he passes the ball to his teammate. His teammate misses the shot and they lose the game. And Doc Hightower, he's impressed by Will's basketball skills, but he's like, look, you have to take over in times like this. You know what I'm saying? Bring that West Philly out. Do what you got to do to get the victory, because that's all that really matters. And y'all know Will was like, well, my coach told me to do this and I was just listening. It wasn't really my fault. But Doc Hightower, he ain't trying to hear any of that. And all this does is just motivates Will to go out there the next time and get the job done and prove that he could have really took over if he really wanted to. Now, Will gets back home and he's having a conversation with Uncle Phil. Uncle Phil wants to know what's going on, and Will tells him about Doc Hightower and how he can get him a D1 scholarship. He's, helped out a lot of other players. And Uncle Phil's like, man, it's other ways that you can get a scholarship, and you don't really know why this dude is all up in your business in the first place. Uncle Phil's major concern is, why did Doc Hightower not come to the parents first? We know he's going to address that later on in the episode, and we know he's right. You can't trust everybody and, trust what they're saying. This guy definitely has his own agenda on what he wants to do, and most likely it's because of the money that this family has. Now we get to Ashley. She's in class, and we can tell that this Olivia girl, she's definitely jealous of Ashley and her relationship that she has with Miss Huge. That's just my opinion. Y'all can let me know. But it seems like every time Ashley says something or she sees like they're connecting or having a good time, she gets salty. And we see Miss Huge, she recommends another book to Ashley to read. And Olivia, she's out there ready to snitch. She's the one that went back and told administration on what Miss Huge is doing. And this is why she ended up getting fired. And we know this ended up pissing off Viv, Carlton. Everybody was upset about her getting fired, but we know they're going to fight to try to get her back. Now, we get to your girl Hillary, and she wants to use Jazz's 6'4" Impala. And at first, Jazz is like, nah, he can't do it. He ain't about that life, but come on, it's Hillary. Hillary gonna get whatever she want, and Jazz, he really likes her. So he lets her use it for the whole video thing for the influencer house, right? Now, Carlton is having a conversation with Lisa, and Lisa wants Carlton to put in for the Founders Award, but Carlton is like, nah, even though he's class president, he doesn't want to go in and lose. Nobody black has won, but she's like, look, that's even more of a reason why you should go in and try to get nominated in order for yourself to win. And he's talking about going to Princeton because he wants to start a new legacy. And Lisa, she pulls back up the flyer and is like, look, well, this is an opportunity for you to start that new legacy. So we're going to see how this whole thing goes. You guys let me know. Now we get to Will. He's having a conversation with his basketball team. He tells them that there was some tension with him and the coach, but everything is good. He wants to focus on what's next. He wants everybody to step up. And Kirk, this dude running his mouth, talking about I already apologized for missing this shot and all that stuff. And Will was like, look, dude, it's not about you. It's about the team. He wasn't even talking about the shot you missed. He was just talking about the team stepping up. He does mention how things were when he was in Philly and, you know, how his team used to do. And Kirk, once again, is getting pissed off, talking about watch your attitude. This ain't Philly and all that. And no one really likes how you've been acting. And Will was like, okay, so this is how y'all feel? You know what I'm saying? He felt some type of way about it. And like I told y'all, I didn't think Will did anything wrong. I mean, he called the team in and wanted to have a discussion. And he didn't, you know, want to be on no negativity. But this Kirk dude is just pissed off at Will. And all it's going to do is continue to grow. But we know in that second game, Will, he went off, man. He went off and he didn't care about what the coach was saying. He didn't care about what Kirk was saying. He really brought that West Philly to that game. We get to Ashley and Miss Hughes, and she finds out that Miss Hughes has been fired, and she's pissed off. She wants to know why. Of course, she cannot tell her why, but she tells Ashley, don't change who she is and do not worry about her. We know Olivia, she went and told administration what was going down, and this is why Mrs. Hughes is not there anymore. Now, once again, Hillary allows Ivy to walk all over her. She promised Jazz that she would be the only one driving his car, but no, she lets Ivy drive it. And I ain't gonna lie to you guys, I thought Ivy was about to crash his car, but it didn't happen. Your boy Jazz, he sees her driving it and he's pissed off. He wants to know why she lied to him and why in the hell is Ivy in his car driving it. Now Hillary does apologize to Jazz, but she tells him she did not lie to him. She did not plan for Ivy to drive the car. It doesn't really matter. Jazz is pissed off that this happened. Now Ashley, she goes home and you can tell she's not really feeling it. Aunt Viv is like, what is wrong with you? Are you okay? And she tells them that Miss Hughes has been fired. And Aunt Viv is pissed off. She's not having it. She's talking about how she's going to do something about this, have a conversation with administration. Carlton, you can tell he was upset because we know Miss Hughes, she's, been all of their teachers, and she's like one of the only black teachers that was at that school. So you already know it's going to be some problems with that. Now, Carlton is able to get off his medication, but we already know this is going to lead down a bad path. It's just a matter of time before he actually flips out. I just hope he does not hurt anybody, but based off that official trailer, we know Carlton will definitely be going off and beating down somebody very soon. Now, Will calls Jackie. He, slid in her DMs, got her number, and he's trying to talk about Doc Hightower. She ain't really trying to talk about him. She was about to go ahead and hang up, but then Will said, you know what? I want to get to know you. So she tells him she wants to meet up with him later on at this spot. And at first, Will was kind of hesitant, but then he told her he is going to make it. Do not worry. Now, Viv, she meets up with some of the teachers and administration, and she wants to know what's going on with Miss Hughes. Of course, they tell her that she's violated the school's educational program numerous times, and that's why she's been fired. Of course, Viv was talking about she provides great authors for the students. One of the teachers did mention maybe it's not the teacher that's doing the wrong thing. Maybe it's what's being taught in the schools that needs to be changed. And it seems like they can't do nothing about it, but Viv, she's not having it. And she was like, look, I guess we're going to see about that. So y'all already know Aunt Viv ain't playing, and it's just a matter of time before something major happens. Then we get to Jeffrey and Uncle Phil, and they finally squashed their issues that they had. Uncle Phil does apologize to him. I know it was hard for Jeffrey because he's went to Uncle Phil trying to squash it in the past, but y'all know how Uncle Phil was acting. But Phil tells him, like, look, man, he will never do it again. He just wants him to come home to the family. They do end up talking about his son as well. And Jeffrey tells Uncle Phil that he just needs some time to think about everything. And the two end up smoking a cigar together. So we know they was going to be good. Now, we get to your boy Will and Carlton. Will is trying to go see Jackie and sneak out. Carlton catches him and tells him he knows a better way to sneak out without getting caught. But Carlton tells Will that he wants to go with him, right? So Carlton, Will, and Jazz, they end up going to the club. And man, they having a good time. Your boy Carlton, he was living his best life, having a good time. And I know he was just grateful that he can go out with his cousin Will. Now Will meets up with Jackie. They dancing, they having a good time. And it's like the perfect night, like nothing can go wrong, right? Now Will sees that Carlton done got him 2 chicks. So Carlton's in the club dancing with 2 chicks at the same time, living his best life. Jazz, he done got him a chick. and he's having a great time as well. So like I said, this scene right here was funny. Everybody was just having fun, a good time. But Carlton, he's moving real fast. He's sweating and he has a lot of energy. And Will just wants to check up on him and make sure he's good. But we can tell, you know what I'm saying? We can tell something's up with Carlton. Even though he's having a good time, we know deep down inside, I'm pretty sure that anxiety was kicking in a little bit, but at least he was able to release all that stress on the dance floor. Now, while Will is dancing with Jackie, all of a sudden Doc Hightower pops up and we learn that he is her uncle. And I'm like, man, she didn't even tell him this, but it makes a lot of sense on how she knows so much about him, right? Now, he's telling Will that his game has got real soft playing at Bel-Air, and he talks about how, look, maybe you can join the whole AAU thing. We know a lot of high school basketball players join the AAU system, and he's, wanting Will to do that as well. But he wants Will to step up. He's telling him, do what you got to do out there on that court, take over, win the game, because no one argues with winners. So now Will is even more motivated to go out there and prove that, hey, I can get the job done. He was already pissed off about what happened in that first game. So now he wants to bring out the West Philly Will, which is basically unstoppable from what we saw. Then we get to your boy Jeffrey. He has returned to the house. Everybody is happy. Will wants to know all the details, but Uncle Phil tells him, look, you don't worry about that. You worry about what you do, and we'll handle our business. Now, we end up seeing Viv. She's talking to Carlton and Ashley, and she tells them why Miss Hughes got fired. And Ashley's like, man, is there anything that we can do? And Viv tells her, like, look, if no one disrupts the system does not change. So, she's not going to give up, but I believe this motivated Carlton to go out there and present his ideas in order to help Miss Hughes out. Now, Hillary thought it was a great idea to go ahead and introduce Jazz to her family as her boyfriend. And Jazz is confused. He's like, what? Now, Hillary just wanted to do this to prove that she really likes him and she wants to take it to that next level. Uncle Phil's like, what? He couldn't even believe it. He's like, okay, what is going on right here? But it was very awkward, but we're going to see how this all plays out. And I cannot wait to see more interactions with Uncle Phil and Jazz. He ain't done. You know what I'm saying? He going to have some questions for Jazz. We know how him and Jazz were in the original show. He will always kick Jazz out the house. Now, seeing that him and Hillary are together and it's official, it's going to make this whole storyline that much more interesting. You guys let me know what y'all think about that. Now, we get to the BSU meeting, and Carlton has decided that he wants to fight for Miss Hughes. He's talking about doing a walkout to prove a point, and that Miss Hughes is a good teacher, and he ain't going for that. Now, Will decides, look, we can just do a protest, aka blackout. We're going to step up for her. All the students are agreeing, and he seems like he's getting a lot of support. But when Carlton goes outside, Miss Basson walks up to him and tells him he likes his energy and everything, but this whole walkout protest thing is probably not the best idea, and he has to watch what he's doing because it can affect his image and the things that he wants to get involved in. So now Carlton is thinking about, man, should I do this? Maybe I should change this up. Maybe this is not a great idea. He goes to Will and tells Will, like, look, maybe we should change some things up. But Will, he's on one. Will is like, screw all that. We're going to do what we got to do. He's already in his West Philly type mode, so he feels like nothing can stop him. And he tells Carlton he's going to take care of everything. It's going to be all right. Now, Aunt Viv, she goes to have a meeting with Reed, but he ain't nowhere to be found. I guess he said he had an art emergency. And Aunt Viv is pissed off, like, really? This dude did not give me any type of notice. And she's like, look, I am done. I'm done dealing with him. You can tell him I had an emergency as well. She is tired of him trying to control the narrative with this whole fellowship thing. And she tells her, like, look, I am done with his services. So she's good. I want to see how this is all going to play out when Reed hears her response. Now we get to the basketball game. We see Doc Hightower. He's there. And now we have the West Philly Will. He ain't playing around. He is going off. I mean, they destroying this other team. And the coach is like, look, it's time to spread out the ball. We want to work on our 3 game. How about we give the ball to Kirk? And y'all know Will don't like Kirk. He was running his mouth earlier on in the episode. And y'all know he felt some type of way about Will. So now Will wants to go out there and show him, like, look, you ain't getting the ball. I am taking over. And I'm going to continue to dominate this team no matter what. And that's exactly what he does. He does not pass the ball to Kirk. And he just continues to dominate. And they end up winning the game. He goes to talk to Doc Hightower. And he's telling Will, like, look, as I told you, nobody argues with a winner. And he continues to talk about the whole AAU stuff. And he tells Will that his coach didn't have it in him to bench him because of what he was out there doing. Now, as they were talking, Uncle Phil walks up and Will has to go back to the locker room. And Uncle Phil is just talking to, Hightower and telling him like, look, if you want to continue to have these conversations and work with Will, possibly, maybe next time you should come to me and my wife first. He just wants to make sure that they're getting, that communication back for him because he wants to know what's going on. And that's smart. I mean, you don't know what this Doc Hightower dude is on. And this is why Uncle Phil is very aware on him, right? And I can't wait to see how this whole storyline is going to develop. But Uncle Phil is definitely doing the right thing. I'm pretty sure that Will's not going to like what Uncle Phil is doing, but he got to do what he got to do to protect him. And I'm pretty sure, and you guys can let me know, I'm thinking that Uncle Phil's probably going to use Jeffrey to look up some intel on Doc Hightower to see if he has any dirt on him, and maybe he's going to find something that he's not going to like. But we know based off that first episode, he is definitely money hungry, because as soon as he found out about Will's family, his whole demeanor changed. I mean, at first, he wasn't really trying to mess around with Will, but once he saw who his family was, he said, you know what, maybe I can work with the kid. So I definitely cannot wait to see how this all is going to play out. And I want to see how Will and Jackie's relationship is going to develop. We know based off the official trailer, it's going to be some tension with Lisa and Jackie, and I cannot wait to see it. But you guys, I want y'all to leave your theories, predictions. Leave it all down below. How did y'all like episode 2? I cannot wait for episode 3. I already know it's going to be another great episode. But I want to thank you guys once again for all the love, all the support, and I will catch y'all on the next one. But let me get up on out of here, man. It's your boy Mark Dark. I'm out. Peace.